In 1519, Hernando Cortez set sail from Cuba to the Yucatan Peninsula, which is now Mexico. His goal was to conquer the land and take the treasure that had eluded the Cubans for hundreds of years. Now, his men were no more experienced or skilled than many others that had tried and failed before him. But he had a different strategy in mind. And as they got to land, he simply said to his men who were expecting him to lay out the plan on the ground, he said, "Burn the boats." And they were shocked, confused. And he continued, he said, "If we're gonna go back in boats, we're gonna use their boats." And he took away all other methods of retreat. And so they fought and won. It worked. And to me, this is the perfect example of the mindset shift you need to make a big change in life, to face a major challenge or threat. And change is one of the biggest challenges in our lives. And it's something that our brain does not want to do. Our brains would prefer allostasis. They'd like to stay the same at all the time. Our brains like to take the path of least resistance because it takes a lot of work, a lot of energy to make a big change, to learn new things, new behaviors, and new habits. And our brains would just prefer to not do any of that. So here's a little bit about me. In 2017, I was living in a beautiful house with my husband and best friend of 16 years. And I had just been promoted at a job that I loved. And I looked like I had the perfect life. But things are very rarely what they seem. And for a variety of reasons, I decided to leave. Even though it was nothing at all that I had ever planned in my life. And it was certainly not what society or my family felt was the right decision for me at the time. But that was not the first big change I had made in my life. When I was 22, I accepted a job, packed up my Honda Civic with everything I owned, and moved to a city that I had never visited, Memphis. I moved 1,000 miles for a job that paid less than the job that I had at the time. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I just went on an adventure. And now I look back and think that it was an incredible leap of faith. And a leap of faith that turned out pretty good. So here I am 20 years later, still at the same company that I love and a career that I'm incredibly proud of. So in the last 3 years or so, I've had a lot of time, especially through COVID, to think about what it takes to make such a big life-altering change, the kind of change that you practically have to burn down your old life in order to build a new one. And I've thought about what kind of courage it takes. I mean, a change like that is not for the faint of heart. And sometimes I wonder even how I had the courage to do any of these things. So, here's how to hack your brain to radically transform your life. Number 1, trust your gut. Find ways to test certain scenarios against each other. So let's say you are graduating from college and you're thinking about either going home, getting a job in your hometown, or moving to a city that you've never visited. Imagine yourself moving home and take a moment to feel that in your gut. And if you feel safe but disappointed, listen to that. It's telling you to take that chance. Number 2, don't be afraid to fail. Listen, we are going to fail over and over and over again. And sometimes you need to fail to get to the right decision. You need to make the wrong decision to get to the right one. And so as you do that, take advantage of those failures. Now, for me, I was graduating from college, and I had dreams of moving to New York and working at a book publishing company, which is what every good English major wants to do. And I really didn't even make any attempt at it. Instead, I took the easiest, safest job I could. And very soon after that, I realized everything I didn't want in a career. And that mistake, that failure, led me to the right decision, which led me here to Memphis. Start moving and don't stop. So once you've decided to make this change, get some momentum. Start building momentum. If you decided to move out, tell your friends, post it on social media, rent an apartment, rent a condo. Just get moving. Everything you'll do will get you this hit of dopamine that's going to get you closer to your end goal. Number 4, choose who you listen to. Make sure the people around you are the right support system that truly, truly have your best interest in mind. Now, not everyone is going to give you great advice. And there are going to be some people that are going to be coming to the table with their own expectations, their own opinions and personal beliefs, and they may not be as concerned about what's great for you. And I'm not telling you to only spend time with people that tell you exactly what you want to hear, but just know to be wary of other people and why their advice might be motivated by. Number 5, get comfortable with feeling wildly out of control. And this is something that you can practice even if you don't have a big change in the horizon. And it's how you train yourself to be a beginner. And the beauty of becoming a beginner is that it gives you the strength to do new things. And for me, I had gotten to this place in my life where I didn't want to learn anything new. Especially if it was something that I was really terrible at. So in the last year, I have deliberately decided to go on a series of adventures. And they're all firsts for me. Things that I actually am very scared of, things that I'm pretty bad at. And I have just gone in head first. All the experiences that I would have passed on in my past life. And so I learned to ski, and I hated it. I bought a house by myself. I took an aerial yoga class. I traveled out of the country by myself. I sat with a shaman in a Mexican sweat lodge, and here I am today, doing this. And what I can tell you about these experiences is that every time I've done something that I've never done before, even if I'm terrible at it, I feel more and more like there's very little that I can't do. Now, I'm not gonna, tell you that this has been easy, and I'll be honest, I haven't always been this positive. I have really had some very bad days. So here is the last piece of advice. Prepare to doubt yourself. Because there's going to be that voice in your head that says, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't have done it, or you should go back to what you were doing before. And I want to tell you that it's normal, and you shouldn't listen to it. You don't have to. I shouldn't, and you shouldn't either. And so as you embark on your next big change, I encourage you to burn the boats, to remove all alternate options, to focus squarely on the job ahead. And once you get moving and get some momentum, there'll be no stopping you. Thank you.